Hello from this beautiful World Heritage Site of the Netherlands. Today we're meeting up with a Singaporean girl who moved here. Why did she leave Singapore? What is the reality of living in Netherlands as an Asian girl? I hope you all enjoyed today's video. Hi Joy!
Hey,
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And Ghib, thank you so much for appearing in my channel, guys. So this is Joy. She's a Singaporean.
I've been living here for about 2 years and a couple of months. Currently working as a developer, like a software developer.
So you write like codes.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of questions for you, but I think we're getting hungry. Where should we eat here?
We can check out the market hall. There's quite a lot of local things that you can try out over there.
All right, cool. Let's check it out. So you live in Rotterdam as well?
No, I don't. I live pretty far away actually. It's probably more than 100 kilometers away.
Oh, wow.
If I'm not wrong.
Yeah. But you work here?
Yes, I work here. It's also intentional that I chose to work here because this feels a little bit more like home to me.
Okay, I mean, I do see Asian food and the price is not bad actually. How would you characterize Rotterdam?
I think this city is really quite vibrant. I think a lot of things that's happening all the time. It's the second largest city in the Netherlands and it's also home to the largest port in Europe.
Okay, well, similar to Singapore in a way.
Yeah,
the port city.
Yeah, precisely.
I also read that it was flattened by bombs during the World War II. So that's why like not many old buildings survive. It's a very modern, energetic, unique city.
Precisely. I think that's also why you have like quite crazy buildings like the cube houses, and you have quite a lot of skyscrapers, which you don't really see a lot in most European cities. I think that's quite different and quite unique about Rotterdam.
Talking about unique?
Yeah.
Is this the market hall you were talking about?
This is the market hall. It's a relatively new building. It's also really beautiful, like with lots of artwork. Yeah, actually all of those are apartments.
And it's a place to find lots of street food, I guess.
Yeah, I was thinking you guys should try herring.
It's a thing to eat in Netherlands, right?
Yeah, it's one of some of their local specialties, and you can see this place is quite touristy because they even show you how you can eat it.
Oh, there's a way to eat it?
Yeah. Ik wil graag een portie haring. Ja. Nee, dat is het.
Are you fluent in Dutch? That was pretty amazing.
I would say it's conversational.
Would you need to like speak and understand Dutch to live comfortably?
It depends.
Okay.
So I think for work, it's quite okay to do it in English. But I feel like if you want to connect with the locals, especially the older generation, then they are more comfortable speaking Dutch.
Alright, so we got the herring for €3.
It's a bit pricey here because it's slightly more touristy here.
And you like this?
Yeah, I do like this.
Is it gonna taste funny? I never had it.
I'll let you try.
Okay.
How do you think about it?
Very good. Nothing weird about it.
No, it's like brine and pickled herring.
Oh, it's pickled?
Yeah, brine.
Oh, this is actually delicious. So what made you move to Netherlands in the first place? Why did you ditch Singapore?
My partner is Dutch.
Oh, okay,
so
for love.
Yeah, I moved for love.
You met in Singapore or you met here?
No, we met in Ireland. Actually, he's lived in Singapore for a couple of years. When we graduated, I kind of told him that I wouldn't want to live abroad when I was fresh out of college.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and he was okay moving to Singapore, like just to try. Okay. So then he moved and we lived in Singapore for a couple of years.
Taking turns, right? Kind of in a way. He had to come here, so now you come here. How did it feel like when you had to come here actually? Like, was it kind of like negative? Were you like, I don't want to go, or like, were you excited?
Actually, we decided like even a few years back, so like before the whole COVID happened. So we were kind of already thinking like, oh, maybe it makes more sense like for him to find a job here. I think for his career prospects, it made more sense for him to come. And then for me, I was also kind of like, didn't mind experiencing something different apart from Singapore. It's never something that I really wanted to do. But when I saw my boyfriend moving to Singapore and living there for a short period of time, I was like, hey, actually maybe I could do it as well.
I want to go deeper later, like the pros and cons of living here, what you miss about Singapore, but I'm getting way too hungry. You said we're taking the water taxi to the bar.
Yeah, that's right.
That's quite interesting. Let's check it out. So is this how you commute as well? Take the water taxi?
Not every day. Usually I cycle to the station and then I take the train to come to Rotterdam.
Oh, okay. Wow, it's pretty cool. I mean, like, in weather like this, super warm.
In summer it's great, but in winter, you can ask me again in winter.
So that's the thing, right? It seems like they love the cold. But the thing is, like, when you migrate to like country like this,
Yeah.
right? People only picture the amazing summer.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
the winter is very long and harsh, right?
Yeah.
Do you have any opinions on that?
Maybe it's not so much the cold, I feel. It's more like the daylight hours because it's really,
Short.
yeah, it's very short. So you don't have that many hours of daylight.
So how many hours? What do you say? It
know,
gets dark at like 3:30, right? PM?
Here
Four?
not so early, but like 4:30-ish,
Wow.
then it starts to get a bit dark. That gets a bit miserable, I have to
Yeah,
say.
right. And it's so cloudy, gloomy.
Yeah, and then it rains a lot or it's quite cold.
Yeah. So do you think your opinion have changed that? You know, a lot of Singaporeans say the weather sucks in Singapore because it's just so hot.
I don't really miss the humidity of Singapore. Yeah, the seasons is definitely something you have to get used to lah, I would say. And in winter also there's actually such a thing as a lack of vitamin D.
Because of no sunlight.
Yeah, because you just get so little sun and you're indoors all the time. And the first year I came, I didn't really believe that lah. And then I realized that actually a lot of my Asian friends here or
Yeah.
Singaporean friends, they actually take like vitamin D pills.
Right.
Yeah, because they just don't get enough sun.
And that leads to like bad like mental health and stuff.
yeah,
right?
precisely. Like you will feel a little bit like moodier than usual.
Oh, interesting. So that's some problem you have to face. It's a new problem in your
Yeah.
life, right?
Yeah, precisely. It's
Oh.
something that we didn't know existed, so you have to get used to that as well.
When's the last time you went back to home?
I went back earlier this year and
Okay.
during
So
Chinese New Year.
how did it feel? Like the heat, the sun? No need to take pill, huh?
Yeah, I don't need to take pills at all. It's like trying to shelter myself from the sun, if anything.
Yeah. Avoid it
Yeah.
at all costs.
Yeah, precisely.
That's the SG way.
Yeah.
Hide inside the malls.
Yeah, precisely.
What's something you miss about your home?
I think it's the convenience. We have a lot of services that are open like 24 hours in a day.
Is that difficult to find?
Yeah,
In
for sure.
Netherlands, yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure. A lot of things are closed, like food and beverage, I think maybe around 10 p.m.
That's what happened to us. We came here expecting, supermarkets and
Yeah.
stuff will be open. No, even like restaurants, right?
Yeah.
In Singapore, like they will open at like for lunchtime, like 11 a.m. But here, like a lot open from 12 p.m.
Yeah,
and they close super early.
Yeah,
They take
yeah.
breaks.
yeah,
A lot of the restaurants are on the summer holiday. They're not
Yeah.
even open.
yeah, precisely.
Yeah.
I think over here it's kind of like different priorities.
Yes.
Like the people who work in the shops, they don't want to work on weekends as well, or they don't want to work very
Yeah.
late at night.
Even
So-
if that leads to more money, they don't want it. They rather have like a break.
Yeah,
Spend
precisely.
time with their family and friends.
Yeah.
How did that change you? Were you also like very, I don't know, like money oriented or like very work oriented? And
Yeah, I think so. I think one of
Yeah.
the things that surprised me quite a bit when I came here was that a lot of young people, they willingly work like 4 days a week. So to me, I was like, why are you working 4 days a week? And they're just like, why not? I want to have an extra day off to do the things that I like and enjoy time with my family or
Yeah.
pursue other interests. Like it's very normal for them. And it took me quite a couple of months before I sort of understood their perspective, I would say.
Is that even like socially accepted? Because
Yeah,
I know
it's very
Really?
socially accepted.
Does that lead in like less pay?
It's basically hourly. If you work like 1 day less, so it's 20% off from your pay. But this pay is like before taxes,
Right,
and
right.
after taxes, like it depends. Sometimes, so like people would calculate like if they work one extra day from 4 days to 5 days, they hit another income bracket, and because they hit the other income bracket, they have to pay more taxes. So even though they work like 20%
Right.
more,
I understand,
they don't get 20% more money.
I don't think Singapore it's not really accepted. Like 4 days,
Yeah,
4 working days a
4-day
week.
work week,
It's
yeah.
like I never heard of it actually. I mean
Yeah.
maybe some companies do it, but never really heard of it.
Anyway, this is the Erasmus Bridge, so
Oh, it's a famous bridge.
it's one of the, I think, most famous bridges in the Netherlands.
And our bar is like along this river, right?
Yeah, it is. It's a little bit further down.
Awesome. That was pretty cool. I feel like throwing up, but that was pretty cool. I wish that we had this in Singapore. Like, for example, Sentosa to
Yeah.
West Coast Park, I don't know, East Coast Park. That would be cool, right? So would you say you're integrating like well?
At the start, definitely it was challenging. I think just trying to build up another social life over here in a country that speaks a different language. That was definitely challenging, but I would say now I feel quite comfortable
Yeah.
living and working here.
Does it
I think
feel
I'm
like
doing
home
Okay.
now?
Not quite.
Yeah, I mean,
Not
two years only, right?
Yeah.
Maybe more.
Yeah.
How are the people in Netherlands different from people in Singapore?
The culture is definitely very different.
So do you hate them?
Do I hate them? No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you did. Sorry. I feel like it's very warm here. As a perspective of a tourist, you go to inside a shop, they greet you, they say hi.
Yeah.
That's something you don't get in Singapore.
Yeah.
It's so what do you want?
Yeah.
You know, it's just instant business. Here, it's like you start from saying hi.
Yeah,
you know,
precisely.
I thought it's quite nice.
I think if you went to the small village that I live in the middle of nowhere, random strangers will just greet you on the street.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
If you do that in Singapore, it's kind of like this guy's creepy. So how's your opinion on the people?
They're definitely very direct.
Direct? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought Singaporeans are direct, no? I mean, compared to the Japanese.
I think, well, if it's the Japanese you're comparing with, then
Wow, here is more
here
than
it's
Singaporean
even more
direct.
direct,
Like,
yeah.
for example, like what?
if they see something that they think shouldn't be the way it should be done,
Yeah.
they wouldn't like hold their tongue. They would just tell you like, hey, I think what you're doing is wrong. Or they will give you their opinions like, oh, I think you should do it this way because this way is better for like so and so reasons. It's not like in Singapore, like in Asian countries where I think there's a lot of sort of like you have to know what people are feeling, and then when you give feedback, you try not to, I don't know, offend people.
Yeah, I understand. Speaking of working, a lot of my viewers are, they're curious about money, I think.
Okay.
So like, would you say like the pay is better here? Of course, it depends on, your position, your industry, but in general?
I'm not actually sure what the average wage is.
Okay, I mean, you could just tell your salary.
I think maybe it's quite comparable, like the amount that you're earning.
Oh, comparable.
In Sing dollars,
Okay.
but you just change the currency.
Right.
So change the dollar sign to a euro. Like when I first moved also, my pay when I switched to a job over here, it was like the same, actually it was the same amount as how much I was earning back in Singapore.
So if it was like 3,000 in Singapore, it was 3,000 euro. That's what you mean?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay,
But
okay.
there's a catch. Because the taxes here are really high.
Yeah. How many percent is it?
It's dependent on your income bracket.
Okay.
Yeah,
The higher
but
you earn, higher.
I would say the average, I think if you earn like average Dutch salary, I want to say it's something like 30%.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's high compared to Singapore.
I mean, there's a reason why so many people want to go to Singapore as expats, right? Because
The tax is low.
the taxes are really low.
But I mean, if you're a local here, it means free education, right? Free university.
It's not free, but it's very affordable.
Very low.
Like
Okay.
going to university is like, I think for locals, 3,000 euros a year. And if you're an international student, it's
Pretty
like
cheap.
15,000 euros a year.
So that's something that kind of we forget, right? The low tax in Singapore. Is it this? Because it looks amazing. It's one thing I love about Netherlands, beer, quite affordable compared to Singapore.
It's very affordable here. Maybe too affordable.
Too affordable. All right, how do we do cheers in Netherlands?
You say proost.
How the heck did you do that?
Proost.
You kind of roll the tongue.
You can also just, it's spelled P-R-O-S-T. So
Prost.
Prost.
Okay, prost.
yeah, and then you have to look each other in the eyes.
But what if I'm an introvert? I cannot look at people.
They like to have eye contact when they cheers.
Okay, I need to overcome my introvertness. Okay, I try. Prost.
Prost. Cheers.
Beer is amazing. The view too.
I think there's a certain sort of disdain for posh people or very showy people here. I guess it's a bit different from maybe like Asian cultures where we really like to sort of show off. Like having enough is a sign that it's not enough.
Yeah.
Like abundance and having excess is always very good.
Yeah.
But over here it's kind of like the opposite. It's kind of funny. I think within Europe itself, the Dutch, they like to say that like they're very cheap, and they have all these like apps for the supermarket, and they will only buy certain things if it's on discount. So like if there's a 1+1 discount, and then they will like, okay, I'll buy that this week because next week there isn't that discount.
But I like that thinking of being enough, because in Singapore I feel like it's Japan also, but earning a lot of money is like the way to live a happy life. Some people might interpret it as like being stuck in like a rat race, hamster wheel. Do you feel like the society is very different here, more slow perhaps?
For sure, like work-life balance here is like really good in the sense that people still work hard, but they kind of know why they are working hard. Like they are working hard so that they can enjoy other parts of their life.
Right.
It's not so much like maybe in Asia, I think we kind of work hard because it's socially accepted to work hard, and if you don't work hard then you'll fall behind, and everyone kind of is like chasing sort of more materialistic goals, I would say.
Wow, looks amazing. What I noticed, the portion is huge in Netherlands.
Yeah.
I love it. Ah, so good. Us Asians, right? We love our Asian food. How do you satisfy your Singaporean food craving in Netherlands? I assume it's very difficult.
I learned how to cook basically. When I first came here, and then like I found out that their lunches were cold. Most of the time they just eat
sandwich and
like
stuff.
a sandwich.
Yeah.
And also it's pretty expensive to eat out every day, as you have found out.
Yeah.
Like it's not really sustainable. It's not like
at least
hawker
50, 40 euros, which is like 80 Singapore. But like supermarket, I noticed it's quite affordable. Like tomato, like you know, fresh produce.
Yeah.
It's not bad actually.
The Netherlands produces a lot of fresh produce.
So Joey, I want to ask more questions about the life here. Like to get a bigger picture, like how much is the rent? How do you find a job? Is finding a job easy? Like obtaining a visa? Because in Singapore, I don't know if you know this, but the visa is getting more and more difficult as a foreigner. The new requirement of obtaining an EP pass, EP working pass in Singapore, like you have to have at least 4,000, I think it was 500 Singapore dollars. That's a minimum. Converted to euro, it's not maybe that much, but in Singapore, that's quite a lot, right? But how is it in Netherlands?
To be honest, I don't really know because I came in through a partner's visa.
Wait, you're not married, right?
No, I'm not married.
But you have a partner visa?
Yeah, they're very liberal here. So
Wait, that's quite crazy.
yeah, I think it's a bit different.
Yeah, no.
Okay,
Most
very
countries don't
different.
have that, I think. Wow, so it's easier for you to find a job, I guess.
I think yes and no. Like yes, because legally you kind of have the same rights as a local to find a job.
Okay.
At the start, I think it took a while, let's say half a year or so. But I think it also differs based on industry, of course. Like certain industries are a lot easier.
I heard that getting the freelance visa is relatively easy in Netherlands. If you're curious, you guys can look it up. There's a freelance visa.
Yeah.
It's relatively easy, I heard. I mean, that's something cool about Netherlands, right?
Yeah.
Singapore, there's no freelance visa. I mean, if I wanted to do YouTube legally as a foreigner, I had to have my own company. That's a legal requirement. That's why I have my own company. Joy, I have a surprise for you. I mean, I wish I could have brought something more, like more things, but we were traveling for a week already, so I brought something very Singaporean.
Okay.
Okay.
And I brought something very Dutch for you as well. Like
Yes.
something
Okay,
very
close your eye, close your eye. Okay, touch, close your eyes.
Look.
Touch.
I'm supposed to touch it.
No, don't touch my hands.
Sorry.
Okay. I'm taken. What's this?
Like some snacks. Can I peek?
Yes, so...
Oh my god!
Wait, I hope you like it.
Yeah, I love it.
Sorry, I wish we could have brought more lah. Sorry,
Yeah,
we were
no
traveling.
worries. Hey, thanks a
so
lot.
you cannot find this in the Netherlands, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you take a bite now?
Yeah,
and you can
sure.
close it. I'm sure you missed this.
Yeah, I haven't had this in a long time.
It's a Chinese New Year food.
Yes, prawn rolls with heavy ham.
Wow.
Tastes like home.
It's at home, right?
It's good. Thanks a lot for this.
Yes.
I also have a snack
Wow.
for you. Depending on how like adventurous you are.
Okay, I also close my eyes. Hey, it's a candy, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, I just close my eyes, huh? Is this a Dutch thing?
Yeah, it's a very Dutch thing.
It cannot go wrong, right? It's just candy, right?
Yeah, you can try it.
Okay, how can it go wrong? It's a brown candy.
Yeah.
Is it fish? Wait, what is it? Chao chuo?
Is it because you just had the... Have you had licorice before?
Licorice, yes. Wait, it's more like savory though.
Yeah, it is savory. It's a salty licorice ball.
It's a Dutch thing.
Yeah, it's a Dutch thing. It's an old school Dutch candy.
Interesting. And the locals love this.
Depends.
It's like durian, right? Not all
Yeah.
Singaporeans love
Yeah,
durian.
precisely.
Interesting.
Not all Dutch love this as well.
I appreciate it. I mean, I lived in the United States. We
Yeah.
love licorice, but it's sweet there. Here, they make it kind of salty.
A few moments later.
You got to the best part of it.
There's something in the middle.
Yeah.
So, how much is like the rent? I mean, you live with your boyfriend, right?
Yeah.
Are you comfortable sharing like how big it is? You live in an apartment or like a house?
Right now we bought a house.
Whoa, bought a house! Wait. You bought a house?
Yeah.
That's big news, guys. She bought a house. A landed house. You must be a billionaire.
No, thankfully houses are a lot more affordable compared to in Singapore.
Wait, in Singapore, okay, buying a house will cost at least millions. But here, you're in your case?
Yeah, we bought a place for 400,000 euros. So that's about 600,000 Sing dollars, around there-ish.
In Singapore standard, very affordable. I mean, but you don't live in the super city center, right? Far from here.
I live in a very ulu place.
Wow, that's exciting, huh? Having your own place. It's a dream come true for Singaporeans, right? Many Singaporeans.
I don't know if it's a dream come true for me.
I think it is.
Just to preface it, it's not a standalone house. It's like a terrace house equivalent.
Yeah. So long house.
Yeah, like in a
divided.
row, and then I'm like one of the units. I mean here it's like they call it like a starter's house. So usually couples that are starting out would buy a house like that.
How is the life here? Like, in your opinion, do you feel like fulfilled, happier compared to Singapore? You can be honest about this.
I think work-wise definitely. Because like
work-life balance.
Yeah, work-life balance, and I think in general, like the working culture is very sort of understanding.
So, for example, like if you want to leave, I'm assuming Netherlands, they won't ask questions. If you take a leave, okay, you take a leave.
Yeah.
Something like that, right?
Yeah.
In Japan, they will ask you the reason. Why? Why are you taking a leave?
Over here, people are really protective of their vacation days as well. Like if you have a colleague who's on holiday, you would really try your best not to disturb them. And very often, if you want to reach them, you also can't reach them.
It's difficult to say what is good or what is bad, but I feel like in a more country like Netherlands, it feels like it's more individualism, right?
Yeah.
Whereas in Singapore, it's like you cannot contact an employee for like 1 week is like impossible. They expect you to reply to your WhatsApp or reply to your phone call. But here you can just chug your phone and go on a vacation, and that's the norm. And I think that's very healthy, right?
I guess in Singapore, like you're very used to a very fast pace of life, fast pace of work. Feels like a lot of things are always very urgent. But here, like I think people are a lot more understanding.
So what is the cons? It's not always like rosy, right?
Yeah, of course. Like I think the efficiency is definitely one thing. In Singapore, we're used to things being very fast.
On time.
Yeah.
Fast.
If you want a service, you will get the service.
Yeah.
But over here, you kind of have to be used to waiting. Yeah. Like the Dutch really like to make appointments. If you are going to the barber or you are going to, I don't know, collect some documents and almost everything you need to make an appointment for. They don't really take walk-ins.
Oh no, not flexible maybe.
Yeah, it's kind of like the downside.
And would you say like the long winter is a bit downside?
It's definitely something you have to get used to. That's also why I plan usually my holidays to go back to Singapore during
in the winter. Because it's always 30 degrees.
Yeah, like summer, this is the place to be, but in winter, a bit less.
Going back to the question, like, what are something you miss about Singapore?
Oh, the food for sure, and the diversity is not as much as in Singapore for sure.
And hawker.
Yeah.
Pay for Singapore dollar, which is like 2.5 euro, and you get a great Hokkien mee, char kway teow. Impossible here, right?
I think you also kind of miss like the sense of familiarity, because like if you're in Singapore and then you're surrounded by all your friends and like it's kind of the people that you grew up with or people that have shared experiences. Over here it's like you kind of always feel like you're sticking out because you don't look local, obviously. Yeah, so it's kind of like a different sense of being, I would say.
Have you faced racism?
Not really, actually, I have to say.
Yeah, I feel like people here are very
I have to
polite.
think quite hard, but
yeah.
I've also lived in the city for 2 years, and in the city it's very multicultural, it's very international.
And then it's just pro and cons, and like what's your priority yourself, If you prioritize like work-life balance, I think it's a great place to live in.
Yeah.
But if you cannot handle the not so convenient part,
the slower pace of
everybody has their own preference, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But for you, do you think you can envision yourself living here for long term? Or do you feel like maybe a few more years you want to go home, or what's the plan for now?
Yeah, I think for the next like at least 5 years, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, like I'm pretty comfortable where I'm at now in terms of like my work and also like socially. It takes a while to build up sort of your friend connections and that sort of things. And I would say when you relocate to a new place, it's always the start, like 1 year or so, which is the toughest, and you have to like put yourself out there and try to find different friend groups. So I would say, yeah, I'm kind of like done with that stage-ish. So now it's, yeah, I feel quite comfortable here.
I also recommend people to travel more and live abroad, because that makes you more conscious about your home country.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
People take for granted, right?
Yeah.
And they only find out the good things about Singapore after they leave. Same as me, like I know so many good things about Japan after leaving Japan.
Yeah. I think living abroad definitely makes you learn a lot more about yourself and also your preferences, your values. Yeah, and it just exposes you to a different experience. And then after you have experienced something, then you can sort of decide like, you know, what's in it for me?
Yeah.
What do I prefer? And yeah, so I definitely recommend people to at least try living abroad.
Yeah. If you want to, right?
Yeah, if you want to, like for a short amount of time.
And don't forget, Singaporeans, they have the strongest passport in the world.
Yeah.
They speak English.
Yeah.
It's quite feasible. Well, thank you, Joy, so much. Oh, yeah, I'm drunk, like. Well, Joy, thank you so much. Your hair is out of control. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, Joy, thank you so much. I had a great time having a chat with you. It was very interesting.
Yeah.
I hope you have a great life here in Netherlands, and please come back often as much as possible to enjoy the amazing heat in Singapore.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks a lot.
Thanks
for having me. Yeah.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.